Goodbye, 2024, and hello to an astonishing 2025, a year no doubt for those of us behind the wheel. The new year brings a new truck, and for every one of you, a new beginning. Got some new things planned and some hopefully very, very promising things going on for this channel. Glad you tuned in. I'm happy that you guys are with us tonight. I'm putting out a lot more content. The reason being is because I want to make a difference in trucking. And how best to do it but to put out more content, put out more of a message of how we can make trucking great again. I'm looking ahead with promise to a new year because of a new administration fixing to sign in and start work in less than 16 days. Now, there are some of you watching that are on the left and don't really put a lot of weight in administrations. I get that. I'm not going to falter anybody for their views or their thoughts on what politics can do for trucking, this channel, or anything to do with your future. I will, however, say that with that comes a lot of promise and possibility. I am looking ahead to the future to being a very optimistic outlook. And the reason I say that is because for the longest time, we have had a lot against us. So it's the reason I started this channel. It's the reason I come to you every week. And it's the reason why I'm upping my game and coming to you as much as humanly possible on something I call Truckin' City Journals. I do those during the middle of the week. I do these frontlines on the weekends. Okay. Just so you know, Truckin' City Journal any day during the week, if I've got time and I'm not under a load and I can actually sit and invest in a conversation with you, I will bring it to you. If it's going to show up, it's going to be at 7 o'clock at night. And of course, Truckin' Frontlines has been scheduled for Saturdays at 7. But because I now own this truck and I now have a lot of responsibility, I am going to ask you for your flexibility to either tune in on either Saturday or Sunday, depending on my schedule. I will put up notices well in advance. You will all know, and you will all be welcome to join as soon as I go live on the air. I want your input, I want your help, and I want your support to help make trucking great again. We can do this by one of two or three ways. First and most obvious is call our studio line, 860-785-3547. You can also email the show at that'struckinnews at outlook.com. That's truckinnews at outlook.com. We welcome your input. It is going to be a wonderful and great show tonight. I look forward to talking with you. Stick around for a walk through what I think 2025 is going to look like and could look like from a trucker's windshield. And later on in this show, I want to highlight some of your opinions and I want to see what it is you think. I want to hear from you in the audience. If you're not shy or if you're not profiled enough to call me on the phone or step on that StreamYard link right in the comments right there, top. It's pinned up top. If you're not willing to get on camera, leave us a comment. Be part of the solution, not the problem. Help us make trucking great again. If you haven't been a subscriber, take a moment, give it some thought. Become a subscriber, follow this because I cover news, opinion. I put out vlogs so you can see my point of view every single day. I'm out here and able to record. I welcome you because I not only teach you, but I learn from you. That's what this channel is all about. And that's why I want to take tonight as a special kickoff to 2025, broadcasting from the new and improved Truckin' City Mobile Studio, or what I call the Command Center, pointing out there's always a way to make trucking great again, doing it with a skill God gave me to help you and others see things from a trucker's point of view. So happy to have you guys with me tonight. Let's get this show started. Let's go ahead and make trucking great again. Truckin City Central Command, you are on the front lines. Truckin News.
The semi-truck driver accused of causing that deadly crash on Highway 285 this week now under arrest.
Cutting edge opinion. And we will make trucking great again. Built for truckers.
You should be hauling that freight based on what works for you.
By truckers.
Remember, get them done.
Featuring.
I think trucking is a very good career.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Majority of the blame is the companies.
And we don't do it just for us and our families. We do it for you guys.
Hosted by the El Rushbo of Truckin News, Boss Man. That's our studio line, 860-785-3547. We are starting a call-in show unlike any others before. We give you news, opinion, and we give you a way in which to combat that opinion. Agree with it, or give us your own. Either way, 860-785-3547. We welcome your input. We want to hear from you. Tonight, we're talking about, to start off with, a few headlines worth mentioning. You know, I mean, I'm always scanning the headlines. I see funny things. Most of them you'll already see are in my community feed, but a couple of them aren't. So I'm just going to kind of give you an idea what I see and what I think. Put it in the comments as I read through each of these headlines what your thoughts are. I'd be interested to hear. Semi-truck was placed out of service last week for duct tape on the driver's side window. Citizens from Ontario called the Ontario Provincial Police about a vehicle earlier in the month, and officers quickly worked to locate it and put it out of service. The vehicle was operated by a 27-year-old truck driver from Brampton who was charged with no clear view to the sides, improper mirror on a CMV, careless driving, and failing to report an accident. Way to go, my friend. That's certainly the way to make trucking great again. Massachusetts passes a bill saving nearly 500 truckers from having their CDLs yanked for an archaic law. Actually, nearly 500 truckers will likely be safe from losing their livelihoods thanks to a passing of a bill by Massachusetts lawmakers on New Year's Eve. Talk about passing the buck quickly. Back in August, you'll recall about the Massachusetts Registry of Motor Vehicles passed a law which gave them the ability to look back some 20 years or longer, I think. From that, they informed over 482 different CDL holders in the state that their licenses would be revoked due to this lifetime look back. Well, this one lawmaker decided, you know what, that's a little extreme. So he passed a bill. Thankfully, those drivers now do not have to worry about losing their license. And this last headline, I think you'll find a little bit comical because, I mean, it can be interpreted one of two ways. I mean, you know, he's either got mad skills or he just plain don't know what he's doing. But you check this video out as it's rolling. This is provided by KSHB 41 News in Kansas City, showing a driver trying to maintain enough control as the semi-truck slid down an icy stretch of northbound Highway 71. It was around 2:45 p.m. Saturday after an ice storm had hit the area, and this man was given skill until he hit the Jersey wall. So I don't know, you tell me. In the comments, do you think he was just going too fast? Do you think he was lucky, or do you think he had his wits about him? Because personally, seeing those cars on the far right-hand side, I think he just about narrowly avoided killing some people. But I think he was going too fast. Let's see what the people in the comments think. Let me see here. I want to first welcome Griff, our first viewer of the day. God bless you. Thank you for being here with us. Let me see. When you're putting the rush to the side, don't know what that means, of the truck. When you're putting the rush to the side of the truck. Well, okay. think you're talking about the window, but that's fine too. Let's bring our panelists on and see what they think of this whole thing. I don't know, Grumpy. What do you want to comment on? You want to comment on the window, on the driving skills? What do you want to? You have at it, my friend.
Hey, I'll take both of them.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that's really, really the best duct tape job I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Kudos to that man for doing that, but sorry, it cost him
Yeah.
a lot of money afterwards.
Yep.
Now, moving on to the wonderful driving, that looks similar to the video that I have on my YouTube. That I said, is this guy a rookie, or would you believe this guy's a rookie? I mean, hey, look at that. He almost had it, and then bam.
Yeah. Couldn't quite
I'll
crank
be
it.
honest with you.
Couldn't quite crank it hard enough and fast enough.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. It happens. Anyway. So anyway, give us a quick introduction about you, your social media, where you come from, what you're doing here.
Well, as some folks have known me for a long time, I've been here with Truckin City Media for a while. I'm the grumpy old trucker. I go by Grumpy. I have platforms all over. I have Facebook. I have a group on Facebook. I have, of course, YouTube and TikTok, Clapper. You can, if you see this wonderful man behind me, that's me. That's my way to find out. I can be reached at grumpyoldtruckers@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me that way. And I've got 24 plus years experience driving. So if you've got a question and you want an answer, I'll do my best.
There you go. There you go. Well, we're glad to have you on the show, and certainly looking forward to a productive show tonight. Larry, what do you think? Good way to open it. We got 3 headlines. Take your pick. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the ice guy for 300, Alex.
You want to comment on the ice, huh?
Yeah, he would have been fine. He'd made one mistake. You know what that mistake was?
What's that?
He braked.
Can you tell? I mean, I can't tell whether the wheels have locked up or not, and I can't zoom in, unfortunately, because it's an overlay.
Watch the taillights.
Yeah. All right. When it starts again, let's watch the taillights. Good point you make there.
If he wouldn't have braked, he could have saved it from going into the wall.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. I see the taillights.
There.
Yep. Brake lights. Boom. Yeah, they were on the whole time. He's got them locked up.
Mm-hmm. If he would have let off and let it control itself, he could have came back around and got it.
Yep. I'm interested to know if those in the audience think, like me, he was going too fast. Larry, what do you think? Do you think the speed was a large factor in that?
Quite possibly, because everybody else was stopped and he couldn't stop behind them safely. So that's why he swerved around them.
Yeah, yeah. Speed always plays a large part in any accident. Whether you're talking about weather, whether you're talking about, situations similar to that, wet roads, that kind of thing. So you always want to slow it down if you can, because
if that's that part in Kansas City where I'm thinking, it's going up a hill. So
it's 71 and 435, as I recall the notes.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a big hill you have to climb coming
70,
up into Kansas City there.
Yep. US Highway 71 and Interstate 435 around 2:00 in the afternoon. That's what the notes say.
Well, another thing is that driver would have had, I don't know if he had a trolley brake in there or not, but if he'd have known how to use that, he could have come out back and put that trailer back underneath him without a big issue. But not everybody knows how to use those.
Yep. Sassy's saying he was going too fast, so she agrees. That's good to know. Anybody else, if you're watching, I mean, this is not the only we're talking about. Stick around, because we're talking about some other good things. Paul, I'll get to you in a second. We're talking about some other good things that you really need to know about. And I've had a lot of recent videos up on this very topic we're talking about tonight. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. So anyway, Bo, what's your choice? What do you want to opine on this evening?
I got One is the duct tape job.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to find in your research
Mm-hmm.
a lot of negative stories about people from Brampton, Ontario, Canada.
I was wondering if you want to catch that. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I will leave that one alone.
Okay.
The 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 ice skating thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, most of the four wheelers were stopped.
Mm-hmm.
My question is, why were you out on the road
Mm-hmm.
when? Well, I'm just looking at it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, why were you out there? First of all, you were speeding.
Yep.
Second of all, you were not driving according to conditions. Third of
No.
all, you should have stayed in the truck stop.
Amen. I agree. Well,
Well,
not necessarily that he had to stay in a truck stop. If you're going to drive, and sometimes you can, even though it's not advisable, but you can do it very cautiously and very slowly. He
Mhm.
clearly was going way above any safe recommended speed, so
So
he clearly did
i-
not need to be going that fast.
if he's
but you
trying to
also got to
make it
forget,
to, go ahead.
Go ahead, Larry.
you forget around Kansas City, there's not a whole lot of truck parking areas. So he
Well, that's
could have,
true.
yes,
That's true.
I
That's
agree.
true.
He's going way too fast for conditions for one,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
but he could be trying to get off of the road
Hmm.
as
Very true.
well.
Okay.
Nobody
All right.
knows.
All right. I will give you that. But
Yep.
in my way of
I mean,
thinking, he
Mhm.
shouldn't have been out there.
Yep. I agree. I
I
agree
mean
entirely.
that goes back to the whole. A lot of people don't realize pre-tripping and everything doesn't just require on your truck. Check your
Mm.
weather around your area, especially nowadays. We're in
Yes.
winter time.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
That would be
Watch
Well,
the
part of
weather.
trip
Check your
planning.
511 stuff.
Trip. Yeah.
Right.
Pre-trip
mhm.
and trip planning are the same thing. They're synonymous. I mean, why even pre-trip your truck if there's 6 inches of snow on the ground? You're not going anywhere.
Or ice.
Yeah, ice too. Yeah, that goes
Yeah,
without saying.
I
ice,
think
I would
I
say
think
would be the worst.
Yeah.
isn't it the universal number 511 that checks the roads in the area?
Well,
511.
then too, I have in my hand a cell phone, and on this
Mm-hmm.
cell phone, I have an app called My Radar. The
Mm-hmm.
damn thing is accurate down to the millimeter when it comes down to how much precipitation in whatever area. I mean, it's right down to the area you're in.
Send me
For
the link.
example, I'm sitting in Allentown right now, and they're saying that sometime overnight tonight and part of tomorrow morning, we're going to start seeing snow. So from tomorrow morning to tomorrow evening, we could get anywhere from 2 to 4 inches.
Mhm.
So I may have to sit. I don't know. I'll make that decision and call when I get ready to go. But um, it's the same decision every one of you have to make. When
Can
you get
you
on the road, do I
can
risk
you
it or do I not? You know,
can you post that
Mm.
link in the comments?
For the app, no,
Yes.
just all I can do is tell you to go to your Google Play Store and just look up My Radar
My
because
radar. Okay.
yeah, My Radar
All
in your
right.
Google Play Store.
All
It's
right.
it's an absolutely outstanding, and I think it's put out by the National Weather Service. I could be wrong. I don't
Mm.
work for the people, so it is a very handy and very accurate um, app, and I swear by it, and have for like 4 years now. So I mean, since I
Okay.
found it, I've been using it. So it's a very good app.
It is a good app. I use it also. Now, unless you, I believe, pay for the subscription to it, there is a slight delay, like close to 10 minutes in radar update whenever it's pinging the radar itself, but it's still pretty accurate. I mean,
No delay on me. I don't pay for a subscription. It's accurate right up to the minute. It has to be. I don't know where you're getting your information, Grumpy, but it's accurate. It has to be up to right up to the limit. Yeah, right. Whatever the geo satellite sends down, that's what gets put on that app. So
right. But
yeah.
I've
So
I've been using it for quite a while too, and that's what I'm saying. I compared it to the actual radar system that my local newscasters use, which is they're tied directly into it. And I noticed
Yeah.
there's about a 9 to 10 minute delay in updates as far as the radar ping and showing where the cloud movement is and all that. Now,
Yeah.
as far as your precip and all that, where it's already fell or something like that, that's going to be accurate. But as far as like if you're watching an actual thunderstorm run through or something, you're going to be about a anywhere between a 9 to 15 minute, depending on your hook up to your system. But I
Well, that could
I
be
wanted to
said
do it
for internet
myself.
connections too. Yeah, some people have faster internet connections, 5G versus 2.4. So yeah, I mean, a lot
Yeah,
plays on that. So,
all in all, it's still a great app to use. It is
yeah,
very helpful, and you
yep,
don't have to subscribe to it if you don't want. But if you want the other bells and whistles, a
yep,
subscription is nice. Yes.
yep,
2 minutes.
yep. 2 minutes on what? What are you talking about?
Mm.
What?
But if you're in rest areas, you can also go into the buildings, and usually they have the radar and weather in the area on the screens in there.
Right.
Some do,
Okay.
yes.
Yep.
That's a lot more of the welcome centers than some of the smaller rest areas. But
Yep.
A lot of them down through Nebraska for sure have got them because I've been in them, and you can keep up with it. But biggest reason is a lot of times there's a lot of bad storms up through that area too. So that's one reason why they did that.
Yep.
just a warning. I mean, if you don't have to be out there, don't be out there. No,
Yep.
no load's worth your life.
Nope.
Yep.
I always
All right.
had a rule. If I had to stop every 5 to 10 minutes to clean my windows off or windshield wipers off, I'll just park it until the next day.
Yep. Well,
Because you're
gentlemen,
not
this
going to get very far before you have to clean them again. So,
yep, gentlemen, this is some pretty handy advice. But I want to get to what the audience is most likely tuned in for, and that is our feature story for the night. So
Sounds great.
let's get into it. My friends, it is the year of the trucker. Why do I say that? Well, as the calendar flips a brand new year, there's something about this moment that feels electric. I say that purposely. A chance to reset, refocus, and recharge full throttle into a brighter future. Now, if you think I'm going into some spiel about electric trucks, you're sadly mistaken. But if there's any industry that needs to seize the moment, it's this one right here. I've got an article here from FreightWaves I'm going to opine on, and it outlines 10 different policies the new Trump administration could push to transform our industry for the better. Let me tell you, this list isn't just a collection of bureaucratic buzzwords, it's a roadmap. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but before the show ends, I'm going to make sure that there's a link at the bottom of this description. Way down there, I know there's a lot of info, but I'm going to make sure you can actually see the same thing I'm talking about. This is a guide to what I feel is reclaiming the promise of our industry and the progress that we have long since lost. We've just sat here and taken what's given us. Okay, but I want to encourage everyone watching. All right. The day of sitting idle stops today. We need to grab the industry by the proverbial, I'm trying to think of a good word to use, moving on and get back to business as it should be. That's what we need to do. Let's start
Short,
with
short
careful
hairs.
poet.
Short hairs.
Careful poet. Quite careful poet. Let's
I
start with
am.
the obvious. Let's start with the obvious. Emission controls, okay? I've
Mhm.
got quite a few videos, the last couple. Do me a favor, poet, mute yourself until I'm done reading this. Emission controls are a problem. I've had a couple of videos in the past that I've put up, two that are very well trending. A lot of people agree with, and I've had a lot of positive feedback on these videos. Okay. California and their emission control policies have turned it into a noose around the neck of the industry. Right now, as we speak, 23 different states are fighting amongst each other and against California over whether or not to actually go full bore in with the promise of electric over diesel. Now, my thinking and my hope, let me know in the comments what you think. I want to hear from you. Is that the Trump administration is going to lay down the law and say, this is the way we're going to do it, and lay out at least a better set of directions, giving California less power and control. Because I tell you, up to now, all California has to do is sneeze, and somebody with a butane butt is going to have their butt lit on fire. Okay, so that's how nitpicky Newsom is with all these rules. Now, I know every state, I've got to have a lot of you out there that's going to say every state has their right to choose and blah, blah, blah. And I've heard from a few viewers that say the citizens of the state are the ones that vote these people in and they have their voice. I agree with all of that. Okay. My thing and why I put these videos out and why I'm talking to you tonight is my thing is when it comes to making a decision for your state, I get that you want your state to have the best and you want everything right for you and your citizens. But why should that then extend to become a eyesore for the rest of the country? Why should not the rest of the country have the freedom of choice instead of it being forced upon you? Hence one of my videos where it said feds versus the states. I think the feds need to set out a set of standards and states need not exceed that. That's my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Another thing is one of these 10, and I'm just picking on 3 tonight. One of the 10 policies that I think needs an immense amount of work is the independent contractor rulemaking. I feel like it's a threat to our freedom. Okay, the question is simple. Why should bureaucrats in Washington get to decide how we're paid and how we work? Owner operators are the backbone of this country. People just like you and me. All right. I am one. Okay. These so called reforms that threaten to obliterate the model in favor of a cookie cutter employment is nothing short of disaster waiting to happen. Biden earlier this year signed into law directives putting that into place. And if we're not careful and if Trump does nothing with this, the days of the owner operator being paid the way we are today could be on the way out. So, lastly, I'm going to touch on one thing briefly, speed limiters. I put a few videos out on my channel. They've gone nuts. People have had a lot to say about speed limiting. Okay. You got this fight between cars and trucks. Okay. Cars can go 90, 100, 120. Trucks, most of us are limited to 70, some 85, but you get the idea. We can't go that fast, nor do we want to. We have to go slower. So when you put 2 vehicles in the roadway, each with their own independent speed, what's going to happen? You're going to have more accidents. There are studies that prove it. And you know what? I'm not here to debate the merits, but I'll tell you something. Limiting us, and I do mean by us, I mean the entire industry, to one set speed at a slow pace, slower than what we're used to, is a step in the wrong direction. It's a step toward danger. And I think it's a step down for our industry. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd really like to know what you think. I see the year as 2025 as the year of the trucker. And if we play our cards right, I think we can get a lot done. And I think we can make a lot of noise and get a lot of positive things heading in our direction. Grumpy, what do you think? You think I'm right or do you think I'm wrong?
Well, I believe what you're saying sounds very good, but I've said it before and will say it again. I want to see it in black and white documentation. Words can be words, they can say whatever they want, but until it is on black and white and signed and put out there, it means nothing. And half
I'm
the
not going to
time
let
that
you
don't
off.
mean anything either.
I'm not going to let you off that easy. I did that last time because you weren't my co-host, and I also did that last time because it was a lighter topic. But I'm gonna challenge you, Grumpy. Okay.
Ah,
Every single bureaucrat out there is gonna put in black and white something that they think you're gonna like. They
yeah.
may not deliver. They may not deliver. They may not even be intending to deliver anything. But if given the choice between having the platform, the ability, and the desire to make what you do safer and better, what say you? Put down this black and white BS that you're spitting and tell me the truth. If you have an opportunity in front of you to make a change for the better, get paid better, keep your salary the same way it is today instead of being, a classic model some bureaucrat up in Washington thinks you, you know, travel a speed consistent with what you think you can handle rather than what somebody in an office somewhere on a computer keyboard thinks, or even, somebody telling you you can't even drive your diesel truck anymore. Are you going to let these people just step on your shoes and say you have to do it my way?
No, I don't like it. That's one thing I can say is my pet peeve. I don't like the government's ways that they do things at all.
Right.
And we have a voice. Yes, we all of us drivers, just regular people. We all have voices. That's one reason why we do our voting thing every year.
Right. Right.
And we can make a difference. But if they don't hear us or they don't want to hear us,
Mm-hmm.
then how do we make a difference on that? And
yeah, it doesn't really do any different. Yeah, I mean, the problem,
no,
I think the problem associated with it is that we've pretty much resigned ourselves to being without the ability to control, without the ability to say anything. And I think that's with the new administration coming in, I really think that's going to change. What say you, Thumper?
I hope so.
I don't want people telling me what I can and cannot drive, for one.
Mhm.
And two, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of an argument with that voting thing, Mr. Grumpy.
Mhm.
Because you got
Wow.
2 people on this panel who did not vote this year because we weren't even close to home.
Mhm.
So how is that
Well, I didn't
fair?
either.
How is that fair? You can't sit there and say that's our fault because we weren't home to do it. No,
That's a mechanism.
I'm not.
we were out making money. So we're
Well,
not.
to bridge this argument between the two of you, to actually have the mechanism of choice is something a lot of countries on this planet don't have. So
Well,
to
Right.
defend him on that, yes. But what you're
yeah,
saying is
but
also true in
but
that,
how is it fair
Mhm.
if you're a company driver
Mhm.
and you're out there, but you're trying to get home to vote, and the company's like, nope, we're going to send you somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's
I
somebody
agree.
telling you what to do,
You're right.
just like the
Which is,
government does.
well, I was going to say, which is the core of the problem. I mean, because there's too many people. What's the old adage? Too many chiefs and not enough Indians.
Yeah,
You
too
know, I
many
mean,
irons in the fire.
yeah, that too. Yeah. So, I mean, it really goes a long way to, I mean, and that's pretty much why I chose the discussion topic I did tonight because, we had a new year and in less than 16 days, a new administration takes over, you know, and I mean, we sitting here talking about it. We really don't know what they're going to do. We have a feeling based on some public statements and some publicity that they've put out there, campaign speeches and what have you. But we really don't know. I got a feeling, to be honest with you, with everything I've seen, I got a feeling that it's looking to be, at least for the next 4 years, a promising future anyway, compared to the last 4 years. So at least I've got that to go on. Who can actually, none of us here are fortune tellers, licensed anyway. So, we really can't tell exactly, but
Wait,
I'm
wait,
going to do
wait.
my
You have to
part.
be licensed to be a fortune teller?
Do you? I don't know.
I don't
I don't.
either. I mean, you brought
I
that up.
think you got to be licensed to be paid, but that's I
No,
digress.
you don't have to be licensed to be a fortune teller. I mean, heck, look at those weather people. They get paid to be wrong all the time.
I was going to say they're wrong half the time. What the hell do we know, right?
If it wasn't for all the stuff they had, they wouldn't know what to do anymore.
Right? Yeah. So, Thumper,
Technology is what helped that.
because you came in late, let me ask you a question. What do you think? What do you think on this video right here? You think it was piss poor, good judgment, great skill, too fast? What do you think?
Someone not paying attention to the conditions.
Yep.
So they're an idiot.
Yep. Well, I mean, Larry said earlier that he thought the biggest mistake that driver made was hitting the brakes. I say, well, hell with the brakes. You shouldn't be going that fast to start with.
Well, that and the first mistake he did was hit the wrong brakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hit your trailer brakes, that would have straightened you right out. You'd sit there.
I
They teach
mentioned
you.
that.
They teach you that in the book. They teach you in the school a thing called
Yep.
jabbing
Yep.
or
Yep.
grabbing your trailer brakes.
Yep.
Trolley bar, Johnny bar, whatever you want
Whatever.
to call it.
There's 100 names
Mhm.
for it. Yep.
I mean, that right there. No
But
offense.
not all trucks
to-
have those.
No offense to all my friends to the south, but y'all don't know how to drive in this crap.
Say
So
it
if you
gingerly
don't,
because I was
if
born
you,
and raised up in New York. I do know how to drive in this crap. So
I said friends to
I
the
know how
south.
to
I wasn't
drive in it.
pointing at you guys. I was
yeah,
talking about everybody on YouTube.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
if,
live in
if,
North
if
Carolina,
you've
so
never
that would be
if
confusing.
you've never driven into stuff, stay out of it.
Yep. Exactly.
That's how that's why there's so many accidents on A80 is because people don't know how to drive in the weather and they think they're super truckers when they're really not.
Yeah. They really
I'm
have
sorry.
no clue how to do it.
I haul cows and everything else. I was on I-80 last winter, and I'm sitting there doing 15 mile an hour because I can barely get traction, and I'm fully loaded at 105.5. And I'm watching these guys in the dry vans and the reefers fly by me at 60, 70 mile an hour, and I get about 4 miles down the road. I see them in the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down. Take care. Slow down. It's not a race.
Yep. And with this
You want
upcoming storm coming through the east, that's good.
You want to
Good
learn.
advice right there. Good
Yeah,
advice
you
right
want
there.
to learn how to drive in the stuff? Do your research. Don't just drive in it.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. That's going to be the leading cause of a lot of problems, my friends. It's really, and the thing is, more of us truckers should honestly know better. But just with my last vlog, for example, my last vlog I put up was titled "Experiencing 80,000 pounds." I was doing the vlog to point out some of the mistakes the car drivers were making, and just as quickly as I get halfway through the vlog, two truckers make this stupid mistake of blowing past an information checkpoint.
See, I have a
Seems harmless,
I have
but
I have a personal rule to myself.
Mhm.
If you want to throw chains, be my guest. But if I got to throw chains, I'm parked. I'm not driving.
Yep, same belief.
Because you know
Yep.
what? Those chains, yes, they may help, but also, in my opinion, it's a lot harder on equipment, and I think it could actually. Well, actually, I'm not
Thumper.
saying that. I think I just hold on, poet.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm not saying that. I think I know it will. If one of those chains come off, they will kill someone.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer in not putting chains on.
Yep. Oh, and not to mention too, they'll also do damage to the truck itself. Go ahead, poet.
Thumper, I would really like for you to slow down what you said and say it again. The reason being, if I have to chain on a highway, parked. Off road, that's different. Okay?
Mhm.
But I would really like you to explain it again, slower this time, about chains, and let
I
If
want to
I
make
everybody
have,
sure.
watch and
I want to
viewing.
well,
before Dumper goes through that. I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're talking about because I mean, obviously, if you had a chain up, you're already on the road, and material or the the conditions have already deteriorated to the point that you need them anyway, i.e., Colorado I-70, I-80, I-90 going into Montana, Dakotas, Wyoming, and all that. I mean, if you're in those areas and you get to a point where you need chains, you should have stopped a while ago. You should have stopped a while ago.
you
So I
should have.
think
But I
that
mean,
is
if you
more
gotta
or less
throw
the
a
point you
chain,
were making, Dumper, was it
if
not?
it was,
Yeah.
I mean, if you gotta throw chains to get you into a safe place, I'm okay for that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Makes
if you're
sense.
off road stuff like that, I'll admit it. In the oil
That's
field,
different.
that's the only time. That's the
Yeah.
only time I've ever threw chains when I was out in the oil
Here,
field
here,
on a single dirt
That may have
road.
been what he's referring to. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
if it's
I'll,
like out in the oil field when you're on the single dirt roads and stuff like that where you absolutely need them,
Right.
yes. But if you're on interstate and you
Mhm.
have to throw chains because you're too stubborn to slow down, and like a load is not worth a life. Simple as
No, it
that is
ain't.
what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Agreed. Agreed.
okay.
Do you want to add something,
So,
Grumpy?
yeah, here's a great example. This is the first time in my entire career that I ever had to do this, and it's the last time, hopefully, I'll ever have to do it. On my way to make a delivery, going up through 70 through Colorado, just went on the whole trip. It was just rain through Kansas, everything. A little bit of fog, a little bit of rain. We get to Denver, still raining, no problem. This is the latter part of April, so
Mhm.
there's usually no snow during that time.
Right.
I start up Vail Pass.
Yep.
Guess what happened? Freak snowstorm.
No.
Pulled off chain up area. I had 2 chains available on my tractor that I never, like I said, have ever had to use chains,
Right.
but I had those on there. They weren't the best chains. I put them on there just to make it to the next safe stopping place for
Yep.
traction only,
Yep.
and that was it. So as soon as I got
Yep.
to an area where I could get off safely, I stopped until the next morning. And then once the
Yep.
next morning came, I made better judgments.
If you work
That's
for a company that makes you throw chains just so you can go down the road, you need to go find a different company.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
chains are for emergency purposes only on the highway.
Well, and
And
they're only
like
rated
good,
for
I mean,
they're
great
only rated for a
example.
certain speed. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. You can't go over. Yeah. Yeah. You can't go over 45 miles an hour. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
it's a great example what Grumpy just said. He threw them on to get to the safe place.
Mm-hmm.
That's what chains are for. They're really not designed to be going hundreds of miles down the road. And that's what a lot of these people say they do. I mean, like I said, I have a personal rule. If I got to throw a chain just so I can deliver the load or whatever, it ain't worth it. I'll throw them to get to the safe spot. I'll throw them out in the oil field on a gravel road where it ain't going to tear up the road. It ain't going to tear up my truck because gravel roads are a little more forgiving than concrete. So,
Well, they're made
I
for
mean, that,
traction anyhow, so that
yeah,
does help.
yeah.
yeah.
We have a
So,
caller on our studio line. So got 2 guesses, and the first one doesn't count. Welcome to the caller, a frequent flyer. God bless you. I'm glad you called us today. What you got to add to our conversation regarding winter driving, or did you want to opine on something else?
Well, it's winter driving. Hell, I'm right now. I'm just north of Columbus, Ohio, right now.
Okay.
I'm glad I'm out of that main line of it.
Thank God.
The
Yeah.
whole thing's going. Yeah, the whole thing's going right along I-70
Yeah.
and
Headed
everything. So
probably headed right for me because I'm sitting in Allentown right now, and I've got a load that I'll be picking up sometime tomorrow night. Hopefully that means I'll be doing most of my driving after the worst of it. I'm hoping. So we'll see what happens. But you're in Columbus?
yeah, Columbus, Ohio.
All right.
Uh,
What's
yeah.
it looking like there?
Well, right now I'm actually up here in Brinkley, or Brinkley, or I'm about 30 miles north of Columbus. But
Okay.
it's according to the Weather Channel, it's supposed to be snowing, but it's not. But
Okay. Okay.
But it's pretty bad along 70 stuff going right in from Indianapolis going west into Illinois and stuff.
Right.
My brother was driving on that for a little while and stuff, and hopefully he found the spot to shut down tonight.
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah.
But yeah. And what I meant by rush on the side, I meant, are you going to put rush on the side of your truck?
Ah. Oh, okay. I didn't know what you meant by that comment, but yeah, I figured
Well,
you either. Yeah.
You're a Rush Limbaugh fan, so I can see you doing that. So why not? But anyway, in Greenfield, Indiana right now. He's got to make a delivery at 5 in the morning.
Okay.
But right now, he says where he's at. So he's right there at his delivery point, but it's like 3 inches of snow when I talk to him.
Wow.
And they were already backing in like cattle at all the truck stops, and there ain't really no truck stops in Indianapolis.
Not until you get north. There's Whitestown, and there's a few south. You have to go outside the Beltway. So yeah, I get what you're saying. There's only one. There's a Flying J right there off of 465. But other than that,
yeah, 465, 69 area right there.
Yep. So,
but yeah, it's just there's a lot of idiots out there. My brother was going on commenting about that you got these younger drivers. He's just plugging along at about 45 miles an hour. You know, just trying to take his time.
mm-hmm.
But you got all these guys that are just in the fast lane, doing 70 miles an hour. But actually, he was doing something smart. He couldn't see the road, so he was using the rumble strip.
That's a way to do it. That's a way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a way to do it. You know, I mean, if you don't, I mean, some of the interstates have the long poles on the sides of the roads where you get the the plows use them, I guess, for markings for the sides of the roads. You know, I guess you can use that if you're driving at night. It's easy to see. Sometimes during the day it's not, but you know, because they got reflectors on them. But rumble strip is a cool trick. I've done that too a couple of times. So, any other tips you got? I was driving by Braille. Yeah, there you go. Any other tips you got for drivers out there, Griff? Before we let you go.
Well, check your weather before you leave.
Mm-hmm.
The carrier I got with right now, they had to have 8 loads up the Indianapolis area stuff, and I think I was the first load, and I think only half of them made it up there. The other half decided to try to leave Saturday when the snowstorm was going on through Kansas.
Yep.
And they decided not to leave the house.
Any tips for the fella on the screen right now? I mean, he clearly, in my estimation, made a few mistakes. But what's your thought?
Well, I would probably have made the same mistakes too, but at least he avoided the car that was in front of him. That's probably why he was probably going too fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first thing, the worst mistake he did was hitting the brake.
Yeah.
Just like Larry said, jackknifed the trailer.
Yeah.
But he should have let off of him and hit the trolley brake and let it swung around.
Yep.
Probably.
Yep.
But I still need to put a trolley brake in my truck. But anyways, no, I just thought I'd put my 2 cents in on a little bit on this cold weather stuff.
Yeah.
Best idea is just to stay out of it if you can.
Yeah.
If I end up going into it, that's fine. But if it starts getting where I can't see, for example, if you're going through Effingham, you can't see that big cross, stop.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
makes sense. But there's a lot of other there's a lot of other tips and tricks and ways to do it. If you can't see at least a mile ahead of you, then it's getting bad. And there's other tips and other things too. So we got lots of time and lots of shows for that. But Griff, we're glad you called. Glad you offered your perspective on it, and certainly look forward to future calls.
Well, everybody be safe and everything stuff, and try to stay warm out there.
You know it. Well, all else fails.
Don't make fun of us Americans too much either. They're Canadian.
That was a slight.
You're always up there in that winter white land all the time, anyways.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, stuff on the chains. I agree with Poe and stuff. The only time you should use them is when you're off road. If you have to throw chains, it's better just to park it. Basically.
Makes sense.
Basically it.
That's good. Glad to hear. Poet even gives you the thumbs up too. So thank you for the call and the info, and you be safe and keep her rolling.
All right, you too. Stay safe, bro.
Oh, guys, I mean, that's pretty safe But like I said, good advice. If you can't see, at least a mile ahead of you, um, don't drive. Just park it. You know, like you said earlier, Thumper. There's no load that's worth it. Nothing is that valuable that has to endanger somebody's life. So
I mean, you gotta adapt your driving habits to the conditions of the road. I
yeah,
mean, I'll admit it. Larry will admit it too. Just recently, we drove through fog where you couldn't see no more than 10 feet in front of me and in front of
mm,
you, but we slowed down our trucks to accommodate that.
right. Certainly scared the back seat out of you. I'm sure.
Well, that was just another North Dakota Minnesota day for me.
Yeah, yeah. We had the same thing in Wisconsin not too long ago because I was up there last week and there had been snow a few days prior and the temperature had dropped in the time that I was there. And when that happens, there's this thick layer of fog that just hangs right out, and you can't see through it. You cannot. I mean, it's like driving into a cotton wall or something. I mean,
Mother Mother Nature will always win.
Yeah, exactly. She will. She will indeed. She will indeed. So
As us being professional drivers, the word professional means a lot. That means we should be able to know when to operate and when to not. So best thing to do is if you feel gutly in your feelings, something's not going to be right, go with it. Stay parked.
exactly.
When did I become a professional?
I don't know how to think about that. I'll send you an email later.
I was you better do it via fax.
Thumper, I'm thinking, Thumper, thinking the day you were born because you were born to do this. So, you're
All
a
right. Now
professional.
you're using.
Deal with it.
Now you're now Thumper or not Thumper. Poet, I was with you up until 2 seconds ago. Because now it seems like you went to your refrigerator, you reached into your butter vat, and now you're trying to use it on Thumper. I take that personally.
Yeah, I don't
Just
think
saying.
I don't
I mean,
think
am I really a professional after the stunt I pulled earlier today?
Let me tell you
We won't
something,
discuss
Thumper.
that.
Do you know, Thumper, do you know how much you have taught me?
I
I
really
don't know if
don't
we
know.
should take that as a compliment or an insult.
Well, no,
I
I'm
know.
really
just a
wondering.
minute. No, let Thumper answer my question.
No,
Do you know how much you have taught me?
I didn't know it was possible to teach an old dog new tricks.
Poet, you had to know that was coming, dude. You had to see that coming.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I don't know how much I have taught you, poet.
Hey, I'm 70, going on 71 in less than a month. Okay.
I am 16.
Yes, shut up. Yes, I retired about a week
You're
and a
ruining a
half
good
ago.
moment, Poet. You really are.
Shut up.
What I'm good for.
Okay. The thing is that my mantra is if I can't learn something new every day, that day has been wasted.
Stop stealing my shit, Poet.
I've always
So
said that too.
your monster keeps you from wasting a day.
Screw
Okay, I
you.
got you.
Screw you. Screw you, boss man.
All
You
right, yeah.
stole that
All right,
from
If
back
I
to
me.
serious.
only had a brain.
Yeah, back to a serious question. I want to
God.
close out the show on a positive. All right. If
Do it.
you could change one thing about the industry to make trucking great again, what would it be? You've got a new administration, a new year, a new promise, and another year's worth of these kind of shows. So if you could change one thing about the industry, what would it be? Grumpy, you first.
Get. Oh, okay.
Honestly, it would be all these higher ups and pencil pushers. Listen to us, veteran drivers. We're not out here for them just to laugh at. We're here because we know what we're doing and we want others to learn from us. to make our industry better.
Right. It's fair. Give us an example. I know you've got one right in your back pocket there, Grumpy.
An example for what?
What you just said.
I just said,
come on, Abraham.
basically,
hey, he's
basically,
like me. He's getting old, and he can't remember what he said 2 seconds ago.
He has a bad case of
Speak for
CRS.
yourself, poet. Speak for yourself. Yeah.
Deal with
Talking
it.
about your company and what you've done with the DVIRs.
Okay, basically, put down that if we want to go that route, so I came back to work for this company. I came into a real bad mess. I mean, a lot of our drivers were not taking care of equipment. They would drop these trailers all over the place, and I'd wind up picking these loaded trailers up or picking up another trailer that was not loaded. Most of the time it was loaded, and there'd be all kinds of problems that were wrong and falling apart and things that need to be repaired immediately before it could even be roadworthy again.
Right.
I have voiced my opinion so much and got it out there that I've been heard. This stuff is being taken care of gradually. It wasn't an overnight fix. It's taken many months. We have went through the trouble of the company actually has, kept to their part. If you refuse to do a proper DVIR and they do not see that you're doing it, then you are adios. There's no stand. There's no questions about it. You're gone.
Yep.
Thank you for your comment there, Eric Morris. Welcome to the show. If you haven't already thought about it, become a subscriber. Definitely go down below and like the show. We are here every weekend for you, my friend. Whether you like Trump or not, I don't care about your politics. I care about your truck and I care about your industry. So, well, in the end, in the end, Grumpy, what became of your advice to upper management, and how are things today as a result of what you did?
Well, things are improving. Like I said, it didn't happen overnight, but things are improving. I have a lot of support from my safety team. I do have some support from the upper management. They see my point. They see what I'm trying to do for the company. I'm still not paid as well as I should be, but I'm just glad I'm there helping try to get things safe for the road, because I look at it as I'm not just doing it for myself and the company I work for, but I'm also trying to do it for those that are out there on the road to help better save their families' lives by having safe equipment.
At the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
What about you, Poet? If you could change one thing about the industry looking forward, what would that one thing be and why?
Right now, at this point, Boss Man and the rest of you guys, get rid of this push for the EV mandate.
Yeah.
Okay. California especially is trying to push us into electric vehicles. Okay. Up here in Canada, it ain't gonna work.
No, obviously.
And fate actually said it yesterday. Let them do what they want and suffer the consequences. You remember that, Boss Man?
Yep.
It was in your show.
He also did say, I mean, everybody's got a part to play. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying out a new technology. There's nothing wrong with trying to conserve on a resource, which everybody has that right. But and only to the extent that it does not jeopardize lives or become an inconvenience to the point where no one can profit, that is where I draw the line. And that is where I wholeheartedly agree with what you just said. So,
and
the fact that you live and the fact that you live where you live only goes to further that point even more. So,
so that I went last year, 23. I went all the way to Tuck to Yuck Tuck. The last stop on the road to the Arctic Ocean, a couple of 1,000 miles north of where I live.
Yep.
Right now, the temps there are anywhere between -40 and -55
Wow.
Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that's cold.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Got no way to know what those EVs would ever do if they'd even get that
exactly.
far. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
And there's
good
no
point.
charging point, so
Yeah.
get rid of that idea.
Poet, I didn't know you were
Yeah.
friends with Santa Claus.
He's my next door neighbor.
Yeah.
I can
What are you talking
tell,
about? He's
especially since you
related
just
to him.
traveled up there to see him.
Say what?
What are you talking about? He's related to him.
I am not related to him. I'm a Dutchman.
It's your uncle.
No, Santa
St.
Claus.
Patty's Day is around the corner.
I'm a Dutchman.
There you go.
Santa
St.
Claus
Patty's Day
is
is right around the corner.
in a week. Okay? But he's my next door neighbor. So
Yeah, there you go. Technically speaking, Larry, what do you think? If you could change one thing, what would it be?
How about better training of new drivers?
You're
Stop
gonna
with
focus
this
on training.
2 to 4 week training bullcrap and give them real training.
That's a good one. I'm glad you brought that up. That's actually a good place to go. Because a lot of times, I mean, even that I think is really BS. I mean,
In
I think
my
a lot of
opinion,
change. I think a lot of
in
change.
my opinion,
Great.
you're paying what $4,500 to take a 2 week course of, or 2 to 4 week class somewhere.
When
Or
I
up,
did,
I don't know what it costs no more.
Hey, this is back in 2012. Okay, when I did my training in 2012, I paid $7,400. The course I took was 6 weeks long. 150 hours in the state of New York. That's what it was. That was what was required. That cost me $7,400, and I had to buy motel rooms for the 6 weeks I was up there.
I mean,
That was
yes,
cool.
it's the trucking company once you get your CDL, because the school's just to help you get that CDL.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
not help.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you land the job.
Can
But
we
even
say
when you go to
fairly?
your
Let
first
me know,
company,
panel. Let me know what you think. Can we say fairly that probably a good place to go is not only increase training from the CDL schools and those, and in the companies, but also from us? Because think about it. We have over 150 years worth of experience sitting here talking to everybody watching right now. So every one of us has some great advice to offer. And we have more than ample opportunities every single day when we interact with people to teach someone something. How many of us actually do that? I'm sure every one of us. But think about it. If everyone watching this show does the same thing we do, think about the difference in the industry. Because currently, I'm willing to bet most of the people that even get a view on this show for even 10 seconds probably don't even pay attention to it, nor do they want to train anyone. They're just concerned about themselves. And I would like to think and hope that those watching prove me wrong, because that means a lot's changed. So I don't hear anybody disagree with me.
So
I mean, we've seen it with several guys here. Grumpy's done it. Thumper's done it. I've done it, where we've actually gotten out and helped someone back up that couldn't back in.
Yeah.
So I am now retired. I'm an administrator / moderator in a Canadian drivers group. And this morning I actually got told off and said, we need you to mentor us. Okay, well, you've seen me here. You've seen me in other places. I'm not going to set up a group to mentor you guys because I don't know how.
Well,
okay. And the thing is, I'm willing. I am more than willing. To teach, mentor, advise. But I am not going to push my ass out there to do it. You want
Right.
to know? You tell me you want to know and ask me what it is that you need to know.
I'm going to answer this question, and I'm going to
I
move
was
on
just gonna
to.
do the same thing.
Okay.
Say
All right.
what? Go ahead.
Bear with me. Bear with me. I've got things in mind. I'm going to answer the question. Let Thumper answer it, and then I'm going to move on to a closing point, and we will end the show on a high note. So don't go anywhere, folks. Predictions for owner operators working the spot market in 2025. Well, I got a lot to say about the spot market because I worked it mainly as a Landstar owner operator. Currently, I'm not a Landstar owner operator, but I am an owner operator, and I don't focus solely on spot market stuff. I don't really focus a lot because there's a difference when you have a customer base already established. You don't have a need to rely on spot market solely for your income. So that would be advice tip number 1 that I'm going to give you. If you can set yourself up to be in a place where you don't have to utilize 100% of your income stream on spot market rates, you're doing yourself a very good service. As far as what the rates are looking like, that's going to be kind of an up in the air thing. I think overall, in time, they'll improve. They can't get much worse because, well, look at what the left and the progressives have done to trucking. I think things are looking up, but that is just my opinion. If you disagree with me, let me know. Thumper, Bo, what do you guys think?
Well, you kind of nailed it right on the head on that. You know where I'm going to go with this.
Mhm.
I rant. I get worked up over this whole spot market thing more than anybody on the channel. It is there as a tool. If you're
Exactly.
going to run your business off the spot market, I'm not saying you're not going to succeed, but all the companies that I have seen run the spot market have failed.
Most of them, yeah.
It is a tool for you to use to get the contracts. That's what the spot market is for. That's what it will always be for. I played that game once before, and I will never do it again.
Yep, I agree. There's a time for it, and there's a time to be,
I honestly
as you
think
say,
you
use
put
it as
those
a tool.
questions up there just to get under my skin because you know it works me up.
That was by Eric Morris, whoever that was. So
Yep.
don't know, but it is what it is. Look, next week's show is going to be just as enticing. Because here's what I'm going to do. Every time I have a show, I'm going to let you get a kind of a ball eye view on what next week's show is going to be. Because typically, I never used to do that. But I've seen a lot going on in the news, and I want you guys knowing before I end this show what next week's show is going to be. Now, I'm going to give you only the topic. I'm not going to give you specifics because there's a lot out there covering this stuff. But I want to talk about next week's show, driver retention. And I want to talk about ways in which we can keep people in the industry and get rid of the people that are not adequately trained, as Larry mentioned earlier. I want to strategize on ways in which we can keep the people that need to be here and rid ourselves of the headaches we don't need. Does that sound like a good show for next week, guys?
It'd be interesting.
I
You
think I'm
betcha.
looking forward to it.
That's
So,
all
I
That's
believe
all
I
I'm gonna say
might have a
about it
You
little
on
bet.
a
bit
live.
to.
yeah.
Expect
You
a
bet.
kickback.
I
I'm
want
in.
you and the audience to know that I'm turning over a new leaf on content here, guys. I want
Oh,
to deliver more news. I want to deliver more inspiration, and I want to deliver more to help make trucking great again. Because when it comes down to it, just being on YouTube to me is not enough. Actually making a difference is everything.
yes,
So,
sir.
yep, respect to these answers. God bless you. I
Mhm.
fully thank you for your kind contributions to our show. And
Go
Thumper, any
give
last words,
everybody
my
a
friend?
follow.
What's that?
I said go give everybody a follow here.
You know it. You know it. I'm gonna get to that, my friend. So,
Mm.
any last words from anybody?
That on one, twice.
You may
All right, well, here we go. We're gonna have a little. I know I was late, and I apologize. I have some family stuff I had to take care of before I can jump on the show. But winter driving, slow down. You got to chain up, pull over. I mean, it's not worth the life. We're here to we're here to make a living. We're here to do a job. But you know that's the thing. Use your head. Common sense goes a long ways. Number one. Number two, we gotta have fun while we're doing it. So, as I always say, God bless America. God bless all the troops, EMTs, firefighters. God bless everybody overseas. If you do not believe in God, whatever your religion is, I pass it on to you. Don't want to exclude our friends overseas, so I've noticed we've kind of been getting a scene over there. But yeah, like I always say, we don't do it just for us and our families. We do it for you guys.
Amen to that. Amen to that. We do this because it makes sense to pass on information to you guys to help make trucking great again. Tune in next week when we talk about driver retention. We talk about other things. We come to you week after week, day after day, with always the same way to say we can make trucking great again. Weekdays with my journal, weekends here on Frontline. Leave us a comment. Let us know how you think the show went. And if not, remember, it's the truck that makes delivery, but it's you that makes the difference. Till next week, guys, keep it between the lines, keep it on the road, strictly ahead of you. Keep the faith, and definitely keep it rolling.